Hey guys, Sam here, and I'm going to be showing you my deck tech. And basically, I run mainly water Pokemon, but I also use quite a few colourlesses. And I'll just get my Pokemon out and I'll show you who I've got. So this is a water Toolbox deck, I believe, and basically my best cards are colourlesses and water, and I just try to trade for them as much as I can because I haven't actually been playing Pokemon for very long, but as soon as I started getting water Pokemon, I just thought, okay, yeah, I want more, because I don't know, it's just something about them that I just want to make it even better than it already is, and we'll just see. Okay, so the most recent addition to my deck is this Palkia. I got this the other day at my local card shop. I traded it. I actually traded it for the Lapras that I pulled in the first video we did. And I've been wanting this card for absolutely ages. I have two of them, I believe, on the TGCO. And the one on TGCO is basically how I want my deck in real life to be. I mean, I'm getting there. It's just I don't have like multiple copies of certain cards. Like I have two Lugias in this deck. The two Lugia EXs. Ideally, I would like 4. I do own a full art Lugia, but because it's the only Lugia I have, and Lugia is my favourite Pokemon, like, I love him so much, I don't really want to use that as a deck. I just want to keep that in a top loader, keep it safe until I get another one. So, and then, along with Lugia, this is the Snorlax, and he's pretty good for a non-EX basic. I mean, like, at my local card shop, the guys we go against, we aren't really competitive in the sense that we have the best decks. Like, we don't have any Shaymins or anything. But against people there, Snorlax is just, he owns, really. Like, his second attack, 50, does 50 damage. Heal from this Pokemon the same amount of damage you did to your opponent's active Pokemon. So to do 50 and then heal him by 50, like, most of the time, that just, if I do that, and then do it again, like, I've killed a Pokemon, basically. So, he's actually really great, and to have 140 hits, so unless you have a powered up EX or even a GX now, you can't really kill him in one hit. And I tend not to go against people with fighting types, obviously that's who he's weak to. So, like I say, most of the time, he's pretty great. Okay, who else do we have? Regice. Anyone who watches this will probably know about Regice. He's just very handy to have. And when I do go against EXs, if you just stick him out, as long as they don't have Lysanders, then I pretty much have it in the bag, I would say. I mean, obviously, if they have basics that aren't EXs, or they have evolved Pokemon that aren't EXs, they can switch them out and do damage to Regice. But as soon as, like, if I'm against Regice, I try to kill him as quickly as I can before he gets Resistance Blizzard, his second attack, all fired up. So, yeah, the 3 damages, one water and 2 colourlesses. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon by Pokemon EX. So yeah, you see how great that is. It's just to have that out against great EX decks. I mean, he really does help, and it's quite funny when I go against fire decks, especially if they have like something like a Charizard, and he just can't attack him. Yeah, I do damage to him. It's really funny. Okay, Kyurem. Kyurem's great to have out. Mainly, I really like his first attack, Glaciate. For 3 energies, this attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. So, if I have Kyurem out, all powered up, I can just quickly sweep the board, and most of the time, as long as, if they have like evolved Pokemon out, and they only have their basics, then Kyurem, he really just gets the job done. I mean, there's always the issue that you have to get him like powered up, and his second attack you have to discard an energy, you have to use it. But his second attack is quite handy against guys with big hits, because if after I attack they can't attack during the next turn. So sometimes that second attack just kills them straight out. Obviously they can't attack because they'll be dead, but if they're still alive, then they've got a bit of an issue there. So he's quite good. Lapras. Like, I've heard people say that he isn't very playable, and I do agree, he's not amazing, but most of the time when I use him, I actually use him for his first thing, his collect for 3. For 1 energy, sorry, you just draw 3 cards. Like, it's just, most of the time, I'm against someone who can't really do much damage to Lapras first time out. Like, obviously, it only requires 1 energy, so if I start off with them, and my first turn I can draw 3. But Blizzard Burn, 160 damage, this Pokemon can't attack during your next turn. So I'm not a massive fan of cards that make you so you can't attack during the next turn. Sometimes it's not really my kind of card, so most of the time I only use him for his first attack. And his GX is pretty decent for 100 damage, and your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So you get like two jabs at him basically, unless obviously he has Pokemon Center Lady, or he can completely heal special conditions and stuff. So I don't think Lapras will be staying in my deck for much longer. If I can get something good to substitute him, then he will be leaving. But for now, he's pretty handy to just give me them extra cards. Glaceon. Now Glaceon, I only recently got him, and I've got to say I want more because he's amazing. His second attack, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from evolution Pokemon. So, he's handy the same way Regice is, in the sense that he protects me from a certain type of Pokemon. But, obviously Regice, I'm going to see more and more GXs, and he can't, his effect of his attack does not apply to GXs. So, sooner or later, he's going to be less and less helpful. Whereas Glaceon, if you can get someone like Decidueye out, or if you can get someone, who else, Lurantis, anyone like that, stage 1, stage 2s, they can't attack Glaceon if Glaceon attacks first. So he's going to be very handy. I can see him becoming very popular, so I do quite want a few more of him. But at the minute, he's probably my favourite card in my deck. Keldeo, he's quite handy actually. So once during your turn, before you attack, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon. I haven't actually used that ability yet, but because I tend to stick with, if I have someone like Lugia, I get into the habit of firing him up and then seeing him go over it. But his second attack does 20 more damage for each water energy attached to his Pokemon. And he already does 50, so if you just get a couple on there, you're getting like, you can quickly get to 100, I imagine. And then he has 170 hits, which is pretty good. So he's quite good. And he's really cheap too, so if you want to go with him. Kangaskhan. This is what I got from Sun and Moon. I think this is what I got at the pre-release. And I like his second attack. Flip 4 coins, this attack does 50 damage for each heads. So he can potentially do 200 damage, but like my coin tossing history has been terrible. I get the worst. I always get tails, and I want heads. I never get it when I want it, but it's just the luck of the draw, I guess. So that's my Pokemon. Trainers I have. Max Elixir. That's always handy. I mean, it's so annoying when you get it out and you have no energy to that top 6. Like, it happened to me the other day, and it's quite gutting. Nest Ball. Nest Ball saved me the other day. I was playing against a guy, and he had a Evoltool out, as his active Pokemon. I think I had a Lugia, and Evoltool is just a slightly better version of Lugia. If this first attack does more damage, based on how many energies on your both the players' active Pokemon. And I was so close to being beaten, and I was like, no, and I drew a Nest Ball, and I got a Regice, and he couldn't attack him, so I ended up winning. So he's handy for that, Nest Ball. Dusk Ball, look at 7 cards at the bottom of your deck. Choose one Pokemon you find and put it into your, search your opponent, put it into your hand. Again, that's good. I mean, if I'm looking for Pokemon, and generally most of the time I'll get one, but occasionally you won't, but that's just the way it goes. NGs, I have 4 DCs, because with the colours Pokemon, they're good to have. Like, if you just stick on Lugios, you can attack already, so I have another one in here somewhere. Well, it's somewhere in there. And so that's 3. I have a whole load of water energies. And then I'm quite into healing my Pokemon, so I have Pokemon Sense Lady. And obviously, if they've got a special condition on them, also gets rid of that. So, Shauna, I have 1 Shauna, I believe. And so if I have a terrible hand, then I can get rid of that way. I mean, I like that one. I mean, a slightly more than N, I think, because N gives my opponent the opportunity to shuffle their hand too. But then again, it's cool to have if you have very few cards in your hand and they have tons, just to get them. There's my other DC, just to get them down to or however how many prize cards they have. So they can have at most 6. So it can be funny sometimes to use them. Pokemon Fan Club, if I'm having a terrible hand and I've not got the basics out, because I only run basics. So if I don't have any Pokemon out, then if I have that in my hand, I can get 2 out, it's fine. Ninja Boy, he's pretty cool. I mean, it's good to have him, like, if I have someone out and then I want to bring out Lugia, if I've got a ton of engines on him, then that's good. And so I occasionally use Ninja Boy, not that often actually, but that's because I've been really lucky. I tend to get the Pokemon I want quite early on. Bursting Balloon, always handy. Like if I'm against someone and I just can't attack, then this is my way of ensuring that either they attack but they damage themselves, or they just won't attack because 60 might well kill them. Giano, another drawing card, just if you have nothing in your hand, and then 3, most of the time you at least have something you can use. More energies. Great Ball, another chance to get a Pokemon. Silent Lab, I don't have any Pokemon in my deck that has abilities. I want to get a Manaphy, but if I do get a Manaphy then I will likely remove this card. But at the minute, as my deck stands, I keep it in, it's very handy, and so if I'm against, I don't know, Hooper or Shaman or Moo, anything like that, to stick him out, and then it's really, really handy. I mean, I can use Luca's second attack as well, which does more damage if the stadium. You have to discard the stadium, but he does 150 damage if you have 4 injuries on him. Olympia, which I think is just a better version of Switch, because you just switch out your active Pokemon for bench Pokemon, but you get to heal the person you take away 30 damage, so that's always good. VS Seeker, I use this a lot to get, I only have 1 on my deck, I do want 4. I use that probably to get Lysanders the most, and then occasionally Pokemon Center Ladies, because I'm all about the healing. And there is the woman there, Miss Nurse Joy, isn't she? Nurse Joy. And yep, I have her. First letter. If I have no energies in my hand, I've often started around energies. As long as I have that, I'm okay. Rough Seas, to heal my Pokemon, my water Pokemon, 30 each time. I mean, if I'm against someone who has water Pokemon in their deck, or electric Pokemon, I'm kind of stingy, I tend not to put it out, but maybe if I do, again, I can use Lugia's attack to get rid of it and do more damage, but if I'm against a non-water or non-electric deck, chances are I will use it. And Lysander. I like to get Pokemon out from my opponent. I like to be able to like get them out if they're close to dying, because they retreat their guys just as I'm about to kill them, and it's like, come on guys, like, just give me them back. Like, I was wanting a victory card, you know? So I'll use that either by having it in my hand, obviously, or I will hopefully have a VS Seeker, and I would have already used one, so I can bring it back that way. Another reason why I really need VS Seekers. So yeah, there's the trainers, and if you want to use, like, build your own water Toolbox deck, I would definitely recommend Palkia and Glaceon, especially against those new GXs, those evolved GXs. And yeah, so ideally I would like a mana fee, just because then everyone who has a water energy on them has free retreat cost, and that'd be so handy if you start with a Palkia, say, and then you have, I mean, this is the best way to start, I personally think. And if you have Palkia, have someone on your bench, first attack, you get to select 2 water energies from your deck, and then put them on one bench Pokemon. And just imagine if you did that and you put 2 on Glaceon. Like, next turn, she'll be ready to attack, and then once she goes, like, if you're against another Pokemon, they're screwed, basically. Or even, and the same thing with Regice if you're against an EX, so, yeah. So, it's not perfect. I mean, I definitely could improve it. But in terms of what I would like to do with my deck, I'm certainly on the way to getting there. It's just, the card I'm happy with, it's just I would like multiple copies of certain cards. And hopefully, once I have that, it'll be as best as I could possibly make it. So yeah, if you want to try that deck out, go ahead, by all means. I've won many a game with it, and hopefully that will continue. I hope you liked that video, and I'll see you in the next one.